Happy New Year and welcome to The Best Things in Life are Freelance, the episode of the Meet the Translator podcast series where we talk all about freelance translation. Today I'm joined by freelance translator Valentina Alia. We're going to find out about the day-to-day life of a freelance translator, the best and worst bits of the job, how the pandemic has affected things, and how to become a freelance translator. Valentina is also going to tell us a bit about her new course on translation for the fashion industry, and together we'll be answering the questions you sent in. Enjoy! Hi Valentina, it's really great to have you on the podcast today. Thank you for coming on.
Hi Dot, thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
Good, yeah, I'm good, thank you. Can you tell me a bit about yourself? Like, what do you do? How did you become a translator?
Sure, of course, I'm a freelance translator. So I work in fashion, tourism, and marketing for about almost 6 years now. I studied languages at first at university in Italy, and then I took a master's degree in translation. After that, I moved to London for an internship in a translation agency. And I think that's what really helped, like after. I wasn't a translator there anyway. I was a project manager intern. Mm-hmm. So I got to see what's on the other side, like freelancing now, like it's easier because I know what project managers do every day.
Yeah.
At the end of my internship, I knew I didn't want to live in London because it was so crowded and so busy.
I can understand that.
Yeah. So I decided that I want to go back to my hometown. And that's why I applied to be a freelance translator at the same agency I did the internship in. So luckily enough, I got in their database. I was supposed to start working with them, but I didn't know when exactly because, it's like freelancing. So you don't have a contract, you don't have anything. So I just came back and waited and fingers crossed that someone at some point would send me work. And they actually did. But my first translation was they sent it 1.5 months after I left. Mm-hmm. So it was quite a long time, when you're waiting and you're not working, and it's quite a long time. And it was 68 words translation, so it was tiny, and you don't really can make money from that kind of jobs. Yeah, but it was fine, and it took me so long because I wanted to be sure that it was perfect, Mm-hmm. And it was a famous footwear brand, so I was really excited. And now footwear is one of my niches, one of my specializations. So that's so weird. I didn't plan any of this, but yeah. And so that's it. So that's how I started. First, I worked with this agency, and then after a while, after a year and a half, I think, or maybe 2 years, other agencies started accepting me in their database because I had experience now. So that was pretty much it. And then after that, all the agencies came and other clients. And we'll see, I think, later about this.
Yeah. So what made you sort of decide to become a freelance translator?
Well, it was not much of a choice because in my city there are one, I think, translation agency. So I didn't have any choice. There was freelancing or another job at all. So that's why I choose to be a freelancer.
Mm-hmm. And why did you want to be a translator, in general?
I don't know. Actually, it's kind of a fun story because I always hated English and languages in general all my growing up. I really hated my English teachers and I didn't like it at all. But I don't know, at some point something clicked and I fell in love with the language and with other languages as well. And I don't know, I decided I had to study languages, and then translation seems like a good path to find a job. And I don't know, even if everyone in the industry say that it's not easy to find a job and to, earn money and stuff. I thought it was a good idea, so I decided to do a master in translation, and here I am.
What does your day-to-day life look like as a freelance translator?
It's pretty basic, I think, like any other freelancer. I wake up in the morning, and it depends on how many projects I have during the day. I wake up like at 7 or maybe at 8 or at 9, or I just sleep and work in the afternoon. It depends. But yeah, since August, I work every day, because before August, I had also days in which no clients sent work, so I got pretty worried and all the stuff that I think you know already.
Mm-hmm.
But since August, I started receiving more regular work because I got a new client, which is a magazine. So they publish every day, so I have work every single day. So I started, my day looks more like an in-house translator now, I think. Because I have work every day, so I wake up in the morning, I don't know, go for a walk with my dog. Actually, he walks me out. It's not the other way around, because otherwise I won't be able to leave the house. And then I start working, and then I get like a lunch break, a pretty long one, I think, because I take like 2 hours, because I like to cook and then eat and then rest a bit on the sofa maybe, and then I start working again around 3, and then until maybe 6 or 7, like this. And then I go again for a walk with my dog, and then I have dinner, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I guess that's like the good thing, is that we can sort of decide what we do and when we do it.
Yeah.
When there's work, it's kind of the same for me as well. Like, I'll be working this weekend because there's a big project, but I'm probably just going to randomly take 2 days off in the week next week, because you can sort of move your move your schedule
that's the best
around.
part. Yeah.
In your opinion, what are the best and worst bits about being a freelance translator?
Well, of course, the best, as we said, is that you can choose when to work and where to work. Most of all, I like to work from anywhere. Like this summer, I didn't take any time off, and I just went to a beach house, and I worked from there, and it was like a bit being on holiday, even if I wasn't, but I was able to go to the beach and to swim and to do all this stuff while still working. So I really liked it. And also I like that freelancing it's like running a business. It's not like it's running a business.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, even if we don't have this mindset, but it's running a business. And I'm enjoying these bits lately. I like doing my marketing and all this stuff, but these are also the downsides. I also don't like having a business because like you don't have paid holidays, you can get sick and all this stuff.
But I feel like you get more of a variety. Like, I really enjoy like the marketing side of things, and like working on a website, and like being able to do things like this, like just start a podcast. Like,
me too.
If I was like an in-house translator or like something else, I don't think
you would like, do that.
Yeah, so I guess
I
we
really
sort of
like
get to decide what we do and do the bits we like. I mean, I don't so much enjoy the whole having to like do your own invoices and like do all the like contracts.
Yeah, the worst part.
So obviously this like 2020 has been a bit different for everybody.
Yeah.
How has it affected you as a freelance translator? Like, how has the pandemic affected your life?
At the beginning, I don't think it affected my work, likely, but maybe at the beginning I had more work than ever when it all started in March, because all the brands were communicating a lot with their customers, with their clients. I work in fashion, so all the brands were saying like, we are here, don't worry, stay safe, stay home, and all this stuff. So they start like having a lot of contents to translate. After that, there was like June and July were not so good. I didn't work much, but after July, like from August till now, I was swamped. I've been swamped. I work every day, as I said, and that's something that never happened before. So I'm pretty glad.
I found quite a similar thing as well. I had a lot of work right at the start of the pandemic, and I feel like it was maybe because often like the translator is sort of right at the end of everything. So like the actual pandemic, when it hit, like it took a while for it to catch up, for me at least, because I was still translating the stuff that had been done when people were still like in their offices and stuff. And then I found the same thing as you. I didn't have a lot of work over the summer, and then suddenly it's all like caught up, and like people have, I feel like a lot of companies have figured out like now they know how to like work from home, and they know how everything like everything is back working again, and it's like normal, but
that's true.
A lot as well. But it's not like, I think it's nice, like I'd rather be busy than
me too. I was going crazy over June and July. I was like, oh my god, I'm so bored.
I was the same. It got to the point where it was like difficult to, because you're like constantly like, oh, I need to do something, I need to like I don't know, look for agencies, like market myself. I need to get out there more, and like you get up and you do it every day, and then you're just like, why is nothing coming of this? But like
so frustrating.
It works out in the end, and I guess like we have to hope that things only really go up from here. I mean, I know the future's still a bit uncertain, but hopefully, as everyone is saying, hopefully 2020
hopefully.
We just have to hope. For anyone who is wanting to become a translator, how did you do it? Like what skills did you need? What qualifications did you need before starting as a freelancer?
I don't think that having like a master degree or something in translation is a must. I think it's more, you need to know your target language, like very well. Better than the source one. Like I needed to really know Italian well to write well, and to know, all the nuances that a language can have. And I think the best thing you can do to start as a translator is just practicing. It's one of the jobs that you really learn while doing it. Like I learned a lot when I started, even more of what I learned during my master degree. When I started freelancing with this agency, the good thing is that this agency has a scorecard system for their translator. So every time I delivered the translation, they sent me a scorecard back with all the track changes that the revisor made, and with the score about the translation. I have a score in accuracy, in tone and register, fluency, and all this stuff. So that really helped improve my skills. And I think the best thing you can do is to like work maybe for another older translator, or just found an agency and ask them to give you feedback, and because feedback is really essential at the beginning. So start working. That's my advice.
I think that's a good tip as well, like asking for feedback, because it's really valuable. I think like not even just when you're starting up, like I still really appreciate, I mean I'm still sort of at the start, but like I really appreciate getting feedback, especially like with a new client, because it's not always that like your translation is bad, it's just that every client requires something slightly different, and like you need to get their tone of voice right for them, and like they all have different style guides, and like
that's true.
I think it's good like with new clients as well, getting feedback. I wanted to ask a bit about your email newsletter that you have. I know a bit about it already because I've been proofreading it for you, but tell me about that.
Well, when I started like networking on LinkedIn, I had like at some point I had a lot of people asking me for advices, like what should I do, how can I start, how can I get clients, and all this stuff. So I decided to like launch a newsletter with all that useful information to help like newbies to take the right path and to become one day hopefully successful translators. So that's how it started, and I really enjoy writing it, and thank you for proofreading it since I'm not mother tongue. So, and now I started, and I had like 50 subscribers, something like that. I started it in July, and now they are almost 600. So I think it worked. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so happy about it. And the best part is that every time I send out a new email, there's like at least 15 or 20 people that write back to me saying thank you, that really helped, or I really love like how you write or what you write, thank you very much, you're helping me here, you're helping me there. So it's really rewarding.
That's really great, and like that you get the feedback from it as well. Like it's obviously worth doing if you're helping people. So how if anyone's listening and wants to sign up to your newsletter, how can they do that?
It's not an easy URL, but they can go to my LinkedIn profile, I think, and they can find the link there in some of my posts. I can do like a post about it if you want, so I can share the link there and they can find it easily, I think.
Okay, I'll make sure to write your name in the show notes so that people can find you easily on LinkedIn.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, sounds good.
And you've also started something else that's really exciting, which is your your course for translators about fashion translation, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's a completely new adventure for me, but I'm liking it so far. So it will be available in next weeks. I don't know when exactly right now, but I will keep my newsletter subscriber posted.
Mm-hmm.
The course name is Translation for the Fashion Industry, and it will give you like an idea of what is like translating for the fashion industry, what text you will work on, and how to overcome the challenges that you may come across. And we'll see also the basics of transcreation, machine translation, localization, and also post-editing. All of that applied to the fashion industry translations. And then we will see also how to find clients in the fashion industry and how to get in touch with them, and all these like practical tips on how to get started.
It sounds like it's the sort of thing that could also be relevant across industries a little bit.
Yeah, of course, it's true for many other industries.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll see specifically the text that you will work on, and there will be exercises. You will have the chance to translate some fashion related text, and like product descriptions, for example, or maybe blog posts of brands that wants to communicate with their clients. So you need a more creative approach, and I explain you how to like approach the text, the fashion related text. Yeah.
Sounds like a really interesting course.
I hope so.
Since you obviously have the newsletter, you've given a lot of advice for people that want to become translators or sort of new translators. What advice can you give for translators to be / new translators?
It's not easy at first. We all know that, because freelancing is not very easy, I think, in any field. So don't give up. Just be patient, because it takes time, because nobody knows you at the beginning. So try to always be there when a client asks you, even if it's the Christmas day or something like that, because at the beginning you have to work whenever there's work. So no matter if it's Sunday or if it's New Year's Eve or I don't know, whatever holiday you can think about. And one thing I want to share is to always remember that we are human beings, so always be polite and just ask the project manager or the client how are they, or I don't know, just share something maybe a bit personal. Of course, don't tell all your problems to the project manager, but just say, if they ask how are you, just say, oh, I'm fine, but I went, I don't know, to the dentist, and now I'm a bit, I don't know, in pain or something like that, something that makes them understand that you are human, and then that they can trust you, because it's all about trust, because we don't see each other in person, and so it's all on emails. So if you share something about you, and you make the other feel that they can trust you, whenever they have something, they will turn on you. So that's how I started, because a project manager in this agency I was talking about, the first one I had, we really had create like a relationship. We became friends. She also came at some point in my city to visit me, so it was really nice. Yeah, and because of that, she every time she had something to Italian, she sent it to me. So of course you have to be good, a good translator. That's the basic. But if you're good and then you're also nice, that's the perfect combination, because they will keep sending you work, and then you have the chance to grow up, to learn, and to evolve.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I feel like I'm about to sneeze.
Okay,
no, it's done. Sorry. You know when you're like, I'm good. So we've had a few questions in about freelance translation from people. No, they've come from robots. Lucia has said that she would like to know what sort of personal rules work for you when working from home. For example, she asked, what do you do when you get up from your desk?
So, well, I don't think I have any particular rules. I just take my lunch break and have lunch, and then I just stop working like when I'm too tired, like at 7 or maybe at 6. It depends on the days. It depends on what I did, on how long I've been working. And then I stop, go for a walk with my dog, and then have dinner, and that's it.
It's kind of similar for me. Like at first sometimes I try and have rules, and I try and say, okay, I'm gonna try and only work like 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, or I'm gonna try and like every day I'll have a break at this time. But like it's really hard, because the work is always different, and everything is like you just kind of have to go with the flow, and
that's
work when you need to work and take breaks.
Just need to of course take care of yourself. Just don't do any like overnight work or staying up all night, or don't eat lunch or something like that. Just need to take care of yourself. That's it, I think.
I guess it's like one of the big differences between freelancing and in-house is that I guess if you're in-house, there will be more rules with like what time you have to start work, like when you can take your lunch break. I guess you're more restricted with what you can do in your breaks if you're in an office or that sort of thing. But for us, like we can sort of do whatever. I mean, recently I take like an hour lunch break, and I've been like starting my lunch break with yoga. So I'll do like half an hour of yoga, and then I'll have my lunch. And I feel like that's been really good to like get myself moving in between. Good. We've had another question from Gemma, who asks, is it viable? I guess she means sort of, is being a freelance translator viable? She said she has an MA in translation and has always been too afraid to make the leap.
Oh, yeah. As I said, it's not easy at the beginning. So if you maybe have if you have a side job, it's easier to see how it's like, and if it's this life is for you, because it's not for everyone. Because as we said, if you can set your boundaries, like if you don't know how to take care of yourself, it's not really ideal for you. It's better maybe an in-house job.
Mm-hmm.
But it's viable. You can work as a freelance translator. It takes maybe years, months to get a good income. But if you have like the patience to wait, and you have this side job maybe at the beginning, and then you leave it, and then you start freelancing like full time, I think it's possible. I mean, I do it, and you do it. So
I mean, it is.
They're like the living proof that it's viable.
But I would agree with you. I think like definitely to start with, you need something financially something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people either they finish their masters and they start as an in-house translator, or they have another job for like a year or so to like save up enough money to be able to then just fully go freelance. Or some people, like you said, start and have a side job so that they've got enough sort of regular income to make up for anything that might be missing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not always stable. That's the
the
big difference.
Then it becomes stable, like right now for me, but at the beginning it's not. So if you have like the chance to do it full time because you have maybe, I don't know, you live with your parents, or I don't know, you have a boyfriend that have a stable job, and just go for it, like from the beginning, just all freelancing, like full-time freelancing. But if you can't, of course, just take a side job, or just go for an in-house position and then transition to freelancing. Yeah, I think that's the best options you have.
We've had another question from Tomasz, who is interested in the challenges you face in the first few years of freelancing. So I guess what challenges did you face at the start?
Of course, the work that is not coming in like regularly. As we said before, it's not easy at the beginning to have a steady income. So that's a challenge. And another one is that when you don't have experience, of course, it's hard to find new clients. So you send like thousands of CVs and then you got like no answer at the beginning because you have no experience. So it can be pretty hard. But yeah, you can gain experience like by volunteering your services. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Or like an internship like I did.
Yeah.
Doing an internship is a really good idea, I think.
I just want to add something to that as well. Because I think to start with, something I struggled with it, and then I had to sort of research it a lot, but with things like sending invoices and having contracts with people, because especially with direct clients, you have to sort of figure that all out yourself and make sure you're doing the right thing and know that you've got like the contracts, and sort of come up with your rates and know what's like a reasonable sort of thing to ask, and then like how do you trust clients as well, because like for example, when I had like a sort of longer project with a direct client, I was like, can you pay me every week, just so that I knew that I was getting paid and I wouldn't do like 2 months worth of work and then just were like bye. But like I think that was a bit of a challenge, but now I've got like the invoice template and like you kind of know like
it's easier now
what your rates are. And it's hard as well to start with because so many like agencies and people ask for like ridiculously low rates. So like I remember when I started, I was like, are my rates really high, or like are they actually ridiculous?
The thing that I suggest at the beginning is to start with translation agencies, even if they of course have lower rates, but you can learn a lot with translation agencies. And you don't have to take care of all this stuff that you mentioned. So at the beginning, maybe it's easier.
Yeah, they usually have their own sort of system.
Yeah, you just have to translate. They also usually have their own CAD tools, so you just have to really turn on your computer and start translating. So at the beginning, maybe it's better if you don't have experience, and then you can gain experience, and then you can start like looking for better clients.
So let's move on to the next question, which is from Catherine, and she asks, how do you choose which translation companies to work for?
I look for them on prods.com, Blueboard, which is a website where all the like translation agencies are ranked, like they are scored by other translators that work with them. And I usually choose the ones that are specialized in my specialization fields. So the one that works with fashion clients or tourist clients and all kind of stuff. And that's pretty much it, I think. How do you do the same, I think?
Yeah, I do the same. The first thing I always do is go on Pros,
Yeah, just
Google
check.
and see. Like sometimes I might ask some of my colleagues, have you ever worked with this agency?
Yeah.
Because often like if I work with a really good agency, then I'll tell other translators like, oh, this one's really good, or I might even like recommend them to the agency. And also just sort of see how it feels when you start, like say they onboard you and you start sort of having the communications, see what the emails are like, see like how they talk to you, because as you said before, like you want to be treated like a human. So the ones that are just like don't bother, like I kind of prefer the smaller agencies where you talk to like one or two project managers,
Me
get
too.
to know them a bit, and they're a bit more like reasonable. You can negotiate the rates a bit, and they sort of know what you specialize in, rather than the ones, because I've worked with an agency where you have to sort of bid on it.
Okay.
And I don't really like that, because
they're
just looking for whoever can do it the cheapest.
They
don't really care about what you specialize in. And they also have emailed me things like, they'll be like, oh, can you quickly do this legal translation for tomorrow? And I'm like, I'm not a legal translator. Like you shouldn't like know what your freelancers specialize in.
Some agencies are pretty bad.
So like definitely, I mean, it's kind of nice to have them there, as long as like the rates are decent and they have good review, like that they'd pay you. Like sometimes it's nice to have those sort of ones like on the back burner to fall back on, and you can take those sort of jobs. I mean, obviously I'm not going to take a legal translation job, but like if something relevant to me did come up, then I might take it. But I would probably like choose to do work for a different agency over that agency.
It's always useful, I think, to have like a backup translation agency that is there, and even if you don't work with them, you have it there. So if they're there.
Exactly. I think you can never really have too many, as long as you know that they actually pay the invoices, and that the rates are like the kind of rates you would be happy to work for. I think it's fine just to have lots of agencies.
It's fine. The translation agency I started working with at the beginning, the one I was telling you about, now like automated everything. So you just get an alert whenever a job that it suits your knowledge come up, and you can pick it up on their board, and that's it. So you don't have the chance to talk with project manager anymore, and I don't like it anymore.
It's nice to be able to have email communication with
people.
Especially because like we're all just at home like working on our own, like
at home, so that's what we have, like email with project managers, and that's nice, I think.
Let's move on to the next question, which is actually aimed at me. So this is from Renata, and she has asked, how have you started working with subtitling? So you've not done subtitling, have you?
No, I did it like when I was studying translation. I did like I was a volunteer subtitler for like TV series and stuff, but nothing really serious.
Okay, so I mean, I'm planning to do a future podcast episode like solely on audiovisual translation and subtitling, but basically how did I start? So I did an audiovisual translation module as part of my master's, and that was like my first. Actually, before that I did some as part of my undergraduate, but like, so I sort of started by doing a bit at uni, and then when I finished my master's I did some sort of charity, like subtitling for a charity, and then I think I was contacted via Pros, or maybe I contacted them, a sort of subtitling agency, and sort of once I started working with them and gained the experience, I then started working for another subtitling agency, and I think I have maybe 3 specifically subtitling agencies that I work with at the moment, and I've had a couple of sort of direct clients with that. So I think it just sort of like build up in the same way that it does with translation work. And I basically just learned how to do it as part of my master's. I never did I didn't do like a separate course in it. I did think about it, but then once I started doing it, I was like, actually, I think I'd kind of learned everything I needed to know. Like I'd learned it through doing the work for the agencies and like learning the different softwares and stuff. So that's sort of how I did that.
Wow, cool. But do you also have to sync like the subtitles with the video, or this is another job? You do this as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's with subtitling, there's a few different things you can do. Like sometimes if it's for a direct client, usually I'll be doing everything. So doing the translation, creating the subtitles, doing the time coding, embedding it onto the video, all of that. But sometimes with agencies, they'll have a template already and they'll have a transcript there of the source audio.
Yeah.
And it might even already be time coded as well. So all you have to do is put the translation in there. Sometimes you have to adjust the timings a little bit to sort of fit.
Okay, I see.
But then you also have different types of subtitling. Like you can do sort of plain subtitles where you just put the audio, like what is being said. Or you can have subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, which is something I've done as well. And you put in all of the sounds and the speakers and all that kind of thing. And then you might have to also put in any on-screen text. So for example, if there was a video, I don't know, of a sign or something, you might need to put a translation of the sign. And then you have sort of more creative subtitling as well. I've not really done much of that sort of thing, but one of my colleagues has, where you get to sort of play around and move things around and have a bit more fun with it. It's really interesting, and I will do a whole episode on it at some point because it's quite a big topic. So we've had a few questions from Jessica, mostly sort of about the financial side of it, and I guess she wants to know, where did you sort of learn the business side of being a translator? How did you know how to deal with the finances and that sort of thing?
Oh, okay. So they explained something about it during my master. So I knew how to make an invoice, or how, I don't know, to make a contract or something like that. But I didn't really use it at first, because most translation agencies I work with are in the UK, so they don't actually need an invoice. They have their own invoice system, so I just needed to make invoice for myself, to give it to my accountant, or to pay taxes at the end of the year. But I didn't need to send them invoices, so it was easier. But now I work with all sorts of clients. I also have direct clients, so I have an accountant. I think in Italy you should have one, because everything is pretty messed up. So this is an expense that you have also at the end of the year. And I think that's pretty much it. Whenever you are in doubt, you ask your accountant, or if you have a figure similar to an accountant. I don't know in other countries how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if you have any doubts, you ask him and he will explain. I mean, mine is pretty good, so he explained everything to me. But I think that's pretty much it. Mm-hmm. What about you?
I don't feel like I learned that much about it as part of my degree, because I think it was more, I sort of had the feeling that my degree was more aimed for people that were going to be in-house translators or project managers, and there wasn't so much about freelancing or setting up a business or any of that kind of thing. So actually I learned most of it from my parents, because they run their own, my dad has his own sort of architect business.
Mine as well.
Is it really?
Okay, sorry.
It's a small one. It's only my mum and my dad, and they work together and they work from home, and I've sort of grown up with that. And when I was a teenager, I would do work for them, and I learned a lot from I'd do the filing, I would help sort out the accounts. My mum sort of taught me how that all worked, so I learned a lot from my parents. And even now when I have questions, I usually ask them. I don't think it's that common in the UK, when you're starting up to have an accountant, I feel like it's something you'd normally do a bit later down the line, like when there's more sort of things. Like for me, it's not too difficult because there's not so many different things coming in. I mean, there's more now, but like I just make sure to keep track of it. I have an Excel document where I put all of the incomings and outgoings for the business, and I send invoices to, I think most of my clients I send invoices to, even the agencies ask for invoices. So I sort of keep track of all of that. And then at the end of the tax year, which is April in the UK, then I have to fill in a tax return. And I had to do that for the first time last year. And it was actually not too difficult. Like you just sort of answer the questions and the thing. And usually if you don't understand it, there'll be a little thing and it tells you what it means. And then they just tell you how much you're going to have to pay in tax. So that is one thing I would say.
Okay, that's pretty easy.
In the UK, I don't know how it is everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I hear it's not that easy.
Yeah. I'd say like make sure when you start that you're putting a bit of money aside every month, so that when it comes to having to pay the tax, you're not like, oh, I forgot.
Yeah, that's good advice.
And I mean, they do give you a bit of time. Like I filled that in April or May, and I don't have to pay that until this month. So they do give you like 9 months or something to
the same
to do that. But like it's not, I'm not going to say it's easy, but like you can do it on your own, and you don't need an accountant for the UK necessarily to start with. So she also asked, where do you learn to write an invoice? I mean, you said you learned to write it at
during my master's degree.
And I sort of, I mean, I just asked my friend how to do it.
Or you can look for a template as well on Google.
You can find an invoice template online, and then you just adjust it to meet what you want, and then just have your own invoice template with your sort of logo or heading or whatever at the top. Just fill it in for all clients. It's not really that difficult, although I get that it's quite daunting to start with when you don't know how any of it works, and
it is.
You've maybe never had to write an invoice before, but it's not as scary as it seems. Jessica also asks, is it different? So this is for you. Is it different if you work with an Italian company or with a foreign company?
I actually don't know, because I've never worked with Italian companies. Okay. Just with foreign companies. I've never had an Italian client, and I don't think I will ever have. But I don't know. I don't know how to answer this question, because I've never worked with Italian clients before.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm just trying to think if it's any different for me, like working with UK or not, but I don't think I have any UK clients either. So I feel like it's not, you're more likely to have clients that are like elsewhere.
Like around the world. I have I think 2 or 3 UK clients. So
as well with your UK clients, has anything changed with the UK leaving the EU? But I guess you might not know yet, because it's literally only just happened.
It just happened, so I don't really know yet. I need to talk with my accountant. But I don't think that anything will change for us.
Mm-hmm. I know there's like new rules with selling things, but
because we don't sell things, we sell like services.
Exactly.
Like
so like nothing, I haven't actually had to do anything.
I don't think it will change, but I don't know. Actually don't know how to answer this question as well.
I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. And her last question was, do you use accountants to do your taxes? And you said yes, and I said no. So that's sort of that one. So that's actually all the questions we've had from people. Is there
You said it again. Okay.
we have had some questions from the local aliens.
They are interested in freelancing.
You know what, actually sometimes I think about like, if like, because I think there probably are like other beings living somewhere else in the universe,
of course.
So I sometimes think like, imagine like if we like became translators for like some language that like that we're not aware of yet, like I think that would be really cool. Or also like imagine if like we started to learn more about like animals' languages and we became like translators for like you could be like a translator for like dogs, and then you could like talk to your dog and like
and there will be like apps like you like you make the phone listen to your dog, and then a voice will tell you what the dog said. That would be amazing.
That would be a really cool thing. Maybe I mean, you never know, like this could there could be a whole new branch of the industry, which is animal translation and alien translation. I think my dog would say, "I'm hungry, give me food," or something like that. Is there anything else that you want to say about freelance translation?
Remember that you are a human being, so be nice to yourself while freelancing, because it's not that easy to work from home and like actually leaving your house during the day. And be nice to other people that are on the other side of your screen. And I think that's the basics.
I think that's some good advice. I'd say also like just be nice to each other as well, like the other freelancers. Like you don't have to be completely on your own. Like there is a lovely community of translators like on LinkedIn, on Instagram. I'm sure like when events are happening again, you can go to conferences and meet other translators. I'm kind of excited to meet all the translators that aren't on LinkedIn that I haven't met yet.
Me too.
But like just and be kind to each other, because we're not like, don't see other translators as like your competitors, because we all have different experience, we do different languages, we have different specialities. Like we can all support each other and help each other and recommend each other to clients, and we're not just like fighting. Like there's plenty of translation work out there, and there's always going to be more and more, and like just be kind to each other and yourself.
I totally agree.
If people do have any other questions for you, or they want to find out more about you, how can they get in touch, or where can they find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn. You can look for Valentina Alia and you'll find me. Or you can write to hello@valentinaalia.translator.com.
Do you have a website as well?
Oh yeah, sorry. I have a website, and it's valentinaaliatranslator.com as the email. And you can find more info about me there. There's also a blog, and you can subscribe to my newsletter as well. So yeah, just get in touch.
And if anyone is actually listening and might be interested in your translation services, what exactly do you offer for clients?
I offer translation and trust creation, which are creative translations, sort of this, in fashion, tourism, and marketing. And I'm also specialized in footwear translations. And
what are your language combination?
Oh yeah, it's French and English, Italian. I'm so bad at promoting myself. I just realized that.
Thank you so much for coming onto the podcast, Valentina. It's been really great to have you here, and it's been really interesting to learn about what you do.
Thank you for having me. It was really nice to have a chat.
We'll catch up again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode with Valentina as much as I did. The next episode of the Meet the Translator podcast series will be all about interpreting. I'll be joined by interpreter Sabrina Spaccanti, and she'll be telling us all about what she does, the most challenging aspects of the job, what she loves about interpreting, as well as giving some advice for anyone who wants to become an interpreter, and answering some of your questions. If you have any comments about the podcast or questions for Sabrina about interpreting, please send an email to meetthetranslator@gmail.com. Thanks again to Valentina for being on the podcast today, and thank you to everyone who sent in their questions.